Alright, we're back. It's been probably about 2 weeks since the last one. We had this thing torn down, we had gotten the carburetor installed, it started up, that was great. I'm going to do a couple of easy things. I'm going to go ahead and install the rally dash to raise this windshield up. I'm going to go ahead and install the short kickstand so this thing can actually lean over enough to be set down without being blown over by the wind. And then the other thing is I installed the speedometer on this incorrectly, so I need to try and reinstall it correctly, and hopefully it hasn't been damaged because of that. So I got to inspect it, and if it is damaged, then it's maybe longer than it needs to be, but it is what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and check the speedometer thing first because I don't want it damaged any further. This is the speedometer with this cable coming out the back. This should be at like a 45-degree angle up right here. There we go. The thing that we are supposed to be looking out for, this tabbed washer in here, there's like there's inserts for the tabs right here. So I think as long as that tab is not bent and installed correctly, then I think we're fine. Right here you can see like a little notch. There is like a little peg on the inside of this guy that you can line that up with, which I think I failed to do. Okay. The speedometer cable is up at that 45-degree now. Alright, one of the first mods up for today is going to be the kickstand. Because I lowered the suspension on this thing, the kickstand is actually like way too long, so when you try and lean the bike over, it basically just sits at like a perfectly straight up, which is not very good to balance the whole weight of the bike on. So I went ahead and got an Amazon special sheet homer short kickstand. I believe it was like $40, and then we're just going to go ahead and be replacing the stock one. So that's what we got here. Alright, let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. Okay, got some sweet swag. Get that out of here. And I think the nice thing about this is, so actually, as far as the sheet homer stuff goes, I've been fairly impressed with them. Yeah, it's Chinese, I get it, but it's also cheap, and KLR is meant to have cheap parts. The rear guards that we have on the bike is actually sheet homer. I've been pretty impressed with them. So there's the first part of the leg. This is the little foot of the leg, and I believe you just kind of like select the height that you want it to be at. Height that we want. I feel like I don't need it to be that much shorter, but maybe like right about there for starters. I will use thread locker on this. I'm just gonna make sure that this is the height that we want. I think that looks pretty good. Time to remove the stock one. First things first, there is a spring that we need to remove, and I do not know how tight this thing is. I want it to be easier to, oh yeah, there's way less tension on that spring like this. Probably easier to grip it here. Okay, there we go. There's the spring. I mean, I know this is like the sensor, kickstand sensor. It doesn't allow you to start it if it's in gear. I don't even need to fiddle with it. I'm not going to. I don't know I don't know why that is so strong. It's just like a little plastic piece like this. But I don't feel like breaking it. And looks like that wasn't very strong at all. Okay, here's your side-by-side comparison. I'm gonna go ahead and put some thread locker on these threads. Okay. And then a little bit of play in that. I don't know if I love it, but I think the spring is supposed to keep the tension on everything, so this guy needs to go back on. Slip over that. Now for the spring. Got like a little spring puller thing. Came with my Leo Vince exhaust. Okay. I think that's fine. It's not bad. Cool thing is that we can always adjust the height if we need to later. Seems to be leaning the normal amount. Yeah, okay, cool. I'm gonna go ahead and put some Loctite on that and then we'll be good. Okay, next up is going to be take this windshield off. We're gonna go in and replace the light bulbs for the dash because right now Vaughn's dash lights do not come on. So I went ahead and ordered some Kawasaki bulbs. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop those in while we have this off, and then I'm gonna put in the Rally Dash kit and then reinstall the windshield. Let's get after it. But these guys right here are the dash light bulbs. You can see I've already removed them because I went ahead and checked to see if that was the problem, and it was in fact the dash lights that were dead. And there's one more in the back. That is kind of a pain. This is what they look like. I don't know if you can see that or not. Just these little guys. This one's burnt out. And this is what I ordered. I've got 3. Okay. There's a new one. Pop it in the little rubber boot. And pop the rubber boot back in. You know what? Okay, installed. Dash lights come on now. Next, we're going to go ahead and install the Rally Dash kit, which is another sheet homer special from Amazon. Again, I think it's like 50 or 60 bucks for this. I have one installed on the 2018 and I'm pretty happy with it. It is a knockoff of the original Rally Dash, but the original Rally Dash is like $120, so half the price and just as good in my opinion. And then we need to bend these tabs up at a 90°, which is actually pretty easy. So you go ahead and take those 6mm bigger well nuts and you pop them in like this, and you can kind of like rotate it in. It's not like pretty, but once you get that first lip in, you can kind of like push and twist, and it kind of just works if you force it. Try and line up these holes as best you can. Okay. Next we have to remove these bolts. One there and one there. Okay. One, two. We're trying to place this plate right about here. You need these long bolts with a washer, and then one of these big spacers, and then the long bolt through here, and then you put the spacer on the back side like that, and it threads into the hole. Before I get that tightened up, I'm going to do the other side. I think the key for this installation is to not really tighten anything down until you've got everything together, because like some of this stuff will need a little bit of flex to get installed, and then you can tighten everything down. Okay, and we're going to take these M6 bolts and the locking washer goes through both. Just hand. Okay, drop that. Normally I would freak out, but I'm feeling kind of chill right now. Actual pieces that are like the risers right here. So we have a bunch of these pieces. We will do the brake side first. So we need the brake side upper and the brake side lower. Okay. These two first. We're gonna do the brake side lower bracket here, and we're gonna try and get this to thread into the well nut, which is kind of a difficult task. So you just don't want to push too hard. You don't want to push that well nut out the back, because then you have to restart the whole process. That's 4. So then we take a regular one with a locking nut and just goes through the top up here. Clutch side lower. Again, we're going to start with the well nut side. Now that everything is put together, we can go ahead and like start to snug down everything together. And tighten everything up. Now the base is solid, so now we can go ahead and install the actual brackets for the windscreen. Let's see, got clutch and brake side. We're going like this. Install the hinge bolt first. And I think we're gonna go with like just the middle setting for now. Can always change it later. Here are those 3 setting holes I was talking about. So we just use the middle one for now. Trying to hold on to too many things right now. For the setting bolt in the middle position. So now, this is where we will mount the windshield. So the windshield will just kind of slot in like that. And I'll have to probably do one side first and then bend this other side to meet it. But start with this side. Line up those well nuts. Bend the bracket to meet the other side of the windshield. There you go, windshield installed. So now it just kind of like, it just sits a bit further forward so it can push air more up and over you. And then you also have, you know, a couple modes of adjustability, which, you know, stock you get no adjustment. And I kind of like the way it looks. It looks more like a rally front. So that's how you install it. Not the easiest thing to do because of just the pain of all the pieces coming together, but it's not also like the worst thing in the world. Yeah, winch is a little dirty, but there you go. A proper rally dash on the 2012. Whew, okay. So that's going to be it for the 2012 today. Got a couple nice quality of life things knocked out. I think the kickstand will be really nice to have. I think the windshield is going to be great. And a couple accessories to be mounted on the dash is going to be really nice for the trip as well. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed that, or, you know, hopefully this helps someone or myself. But yeah. Until next time.